Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. It's great to have you with us. I hope that you are doing well, that you've had a good week. I am just quickly setting up here. So as you can see, we are coloring in Enchanted Christmas in the Creative Haven by Teresa Goodridge, and we have been coloring a really beautiful picture, which is this one. Right, so we have got the clouds, the sun, the tree, Christmas presents to do. So we're going to see how much of this we can actually do today. And I'm going to carry on using Prismacolor Premier pencils because I think that they work really well on this paper. So I'm going to look at bringing in some red over here on the sail, and we can do maybe some brown based boats. Hi Kenny, how are you? It's great to have you. Hope you've had a good start to your week. Right, so I'm just going to carry on thinking through what I am doing here. So I do want Scarlet Lake, I want Crimson Lake, and I need a darker one, maybe a poppy red. Actually, a Carmine Red could be quite sweet. But I'm going to need a permanent red for his glove. So here I want to do his glove red. And then we're going to need to think through some of these Christmas presents. I am well, thank you, Kenny. Just got back from a really busy week last week, so glad that that's done and we can do some coloring and just relax. Okay, so I'm also going to pick up some greens for the tree. So I want some apple green, I want some dark green, maybe some marine green. We'll just play around with some of these and see how we go. Alright, and I'm going to zoom you into the tree because I really want to get started on that. Maybe use some Chartreuse just to create some highlights. I'm so glad you made it to the stream as well, Kenny. Don't worry, obstacles happen. I think it's been quite a busy few months for quite a few people I know. Life's just been happening. So we just roll with it until it settles again. Okay, so we have sun here. So it's going to definitely catch in a bit here. Hi. Sorry, I've gone blank. Hi Tanya, how are you? So now I'm not sure. There's a lot of starfish on this tree. And the question is, do we color them the same as the rest of the starfish, or how are we going to color them? Hi Mona, how are you? Glad you're all well. I'm glad you're doing well. It's good to hear. So we took the older two boys to camp today. They're gone for the whole week, so it's just us with the little one. So the house is quite quiet. And we've had some rainy weather. So I'm thinking this week I might actually dip into some of my soup recipes and play around with those. So I think this is the first time I could actually sit and color in the past almost 7 days. How crazy is that? Hi Pickles, how are you? So it definitely feels great to be able to sit down and do some coloring. I'm thinking these flowers here, they look like poinsettias, so I'm probably do those red. Probably similar reds to the Santa coat, and then I might make some of these sails red. We'll see which other colors we can bring in. I think it's quite a festive page, so we could get away with quite a few colors. Hi Penny, how are you? Thanks for joining. So life's been good, but really busy. Went last week to go see my parents and my nephew, which was really lovely. And then got back home and had a whole lot of other stuff to do. So yeah, the last time I sat down to color was Tuesday morning last week at about 4:30 in the morning for about 2 or so hours. And then I don't think I've colored until right now. Hi Carly, how are you? So hopefully today we can finish this page. We'll see how it goes. Sorry, I've got a frog in my throat. Oh, and then I had braces put on Thursday. So that's been fun, getting used to having a whole pile of metal in the mouth. But that's okay, it will be okay. So yeah, so that's roughly just the busyness and the goings on of last week. And now that I'm back, I will be doing lives every Monday at the same time until sometime in September. We're going away on holiday in September, so just for a week, and then that week that we're away I will not do a live. I think I might just throw every color of the rainbow on this page. I might bring in purple. Okay, so here between the one gift tag is some sand. Yeah, I can't wait that we're going on holiday. The last holiday we had was with our homeschool community, which was really lovely, but it was also really busy. So to be able to go away just as a family, I'm really looking forward to that. So we try to do a couple of holidays in the year, but nothing too expensive, just change of scenery. Alright, I don't like that color. I want the dark green. You know what I don't often do is put little bits of red or purple in my leaves. I do a bit of red, but I'm thinking maybe I must do a bit of like purple tips on these leaves further down here. I think it could look pretty. Sometimes I just end up putting my pencils in the darndest of places. So this is a 90% warm grey. I actually would prefer to use a dark indigo, but I don't know. Actually, I do remember now. I've put it in a pencil wrap because I'm using the dark indigo on a different coloring page. So I've been trying to keep my pencils kind of separate, but I find this color combination works really well with the dark indigo. So, any Christmas in July pictures you've all finished, or were you successful in finishing them? How did it go? I wanted to color more Christmas pictures and life got in the way. Oh, it always happens that way. The heart is willing and life is not. So my youngest has said to me that he wants to be taken to McDonald's this week while his brothers are away so he can have a happy meal. So there you go. The highlight of not having your brothers around is apparently to go and have a happy meal. Yeah. Oh, that's a good question, Carly. I love a live tree, except of the mess, the needles falling down, and then we don't do live trees because of the cost. So to give you context, South Africans put up fake trees. We don't grow for Christmas trees at all, at least not that I'm aware of. What we do is we buy beautiful fake trees, and we can get relatively big ones, but nothing compared to what you can get in the States. And then we decorate it in the wonderful ways that is so unique to each of us. So coming over to the UK, we did get to see the trees, the Christmas trees that you can buy, but I guess because we're not used to it, it feels impractical to spend a good 10 or so, if not more, pounds on a tree just for Christmas and then throw it away. Now, we did have a lovely older neighboring couple in the place where we first moved, and she's told me that what they would do is they bought themselves a real tree, and when it had finished with Christmas, they just replanted it back into their garden, and then every year it just grew a little bit taller. So I like that idea, but because we rent, it's not practical for us. So we just have our own fake tree, and then I have a box of decorations I inherited from my mother-in-law. She brought them up when she came for a visit, and I've got other decorations that I've bought over the years and managed to salvage. So with that, I sometimes let the boys decide which trinkets to stick on the tree. Other days, sometimes we stick everything on the tree we can. Tinsel is something I do like, but I think I prefer it a bit sparing on the tree than what I did when I was younger. So but I've done all sorts with trees. So I think when I was a kid, we used to string up quality streets and hang them on the tree, and then once a day after dinner we would be allowed to have a quality street off the tree. So that was quite fun, and my parents still put quality streets on their tree amongst all their other decorations. And last Christmas, the boys decided they were going to do the tree. So I let them, I don't really control the whole tree thing. I let them stick it up and decorate it. Because to me that's really cool and that's fun. We were allowed to do that as kids. So I let them decorate it, and then I work really hard to not go and change any of their decorations or redo it. I just leave it exactly the way they've hung it up, and that's that. So yeah, we had a fake tree once. It didn't have roots, and I got it from a place. I took the boys to do Christmas wreaths. We knew it was going to be natural, you know, go forage for all the decorations for your Christmas wreath, and I paid for the little workshop. It was a fairly affordable workshop, about £12, whereas all the other Christmas wreath decorating workshops I could find were over £40. And I was like, no, I'm not spending £40 per child and me on learning how to make these gorgeous wreaths. But then I found this one. So on our way back to the car, they told me they had some trees that they were giving away because they weren't any good, and if I wanted one I could take it home. So that was our first and last live tree because the needles just dropped everywhere and it was a real big mess. Oh, I agree, Kenny. Fake trees are so beautiful. Hello, Katrina. Hi, Brittany. Oh, that sounds fun, Carly, that you made a Christmas wreath out of ornaments. I agree. Christmas crafts are fun. A friend of mine has done a crochet Christmas wreath. She's really good with her crochet. So I like to see her beautiful work.
There you go, Your Highness.
Thank you. And these days with fake Christmas trees, you can get the whole like fiber optics thing going on. Some of them come with a bit of extra Christmas decorations. I like them quite tall and quite broad. I don't really like the spindly fake trees. Oh, that's cool, Pickles. So how do you make sure that your tree is perfect? Enlighten me. What is the secret to your success? Because I don't think I've had a perfect Christmas tree ever. And the only perfect Christmas trees I've ever seen were in the shopping malls. And then their trees are just amazing. Oh wow, Pickles, that's cool. It's cool that your mom decorated the tree so beautifully. A unicorn puked Christmas. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, those Christmas tree stands work really well. And Brittany, I can see where you're coming from about keeping your tree watered. That makes a lot of sense as far as keeping it alive and not dropping too many of the needles. I liked my neighbor's plan though, have a a real Christmas tree, and then when you finish, just replant it for the next year. Because she would take it and stick it in a bucket with the roots. But then again, you also have the issue of space. I mean, unless you have a really big house or a big area in your living room. Whereas here in the UK, the houses can be quite small, so space is a bit of an issue. Wow, a week or so. So when we do the tree, I start Christmas with the boys from the 2nd of December. And it can't be the 1st because one of the boys has their birthday on the 1st. So as soon as their birthdays come and gone, we stick up the Christmas tree and the Christmas decorations. And I have it up until about New Year's Day, so 1st or 2nd of January, and then it all comes down. because I love Christmas, so I want to enjoy every moment of it, doing all that Christmassy stuff, and the thought of, and it's also tradition for me, because my parents, my dad also loves Christmas, so we were brought up with Christmas being a big thing, and you do the Christmas decoration on the 1st of December. So I've kind of like kept a lot of tradition from when I was a kid. Yes, I do remember they used candles on live trees back in the days. Exactly, pickles. You imagine. And if you have, like in our first house, you opened the front door, you didn't even have much space to take off your shoes, and then the staircases, you open the door, walk in, and there's the staircase, and then you had to go either left or right into the dining room or the lounge, and it was quite pokey, but yet spacious. So it wasn't like a tiny home, but nowhere near as spacious as, say, South African homes, or what I imagine American homes to be like. Oh wow, Mona, that's so cool. You went to cut your own tree. That's cool. I like to find some of the garden centers in the area, the bigger ones, and then go and have a look at all their beautiful Christmas decorations and walk through around that. It reeks of Christmas spirit, so it's like, yay. And then I'll ooh and ah over all the Christmas decorations and just go my merry way. I'm not sure how well this Christmas tree is going to fare though, because you know, as soon as that tide comes in, it's going to get washed away. I'm not sure if Santa's thought out this Christmas very well. I am coloring in Creative Haven's Enchanted Christmas. I'm using Prismacolor Premier pencils because I like them on the paper, and I just have them next to me. And then gingerbread houses is another must-do, kind of like tradition. So every year we make gingerbread houses and decorate them. So that's quite fun. Or the other thing I love to do is take a drive up, if possible, either by train, go up to London and then walk around and see the Christmas lights. Although we didn't do it last year because we just didn't come right with the timing. Oh, gingerbread houses are fun. You just need to make sure the house isn't too hot, otherwise that icing just starts to melt. We usually do it with our homeschool community. And I remember the one year we were in a church hall. We're doing gingerbread houses, and it got so hot inside the hall. The icing was actually melting, and everybody was struggling to keep their gingerbread houses pieced up and working together. Oh, totally, Brittany. So I have one of the gingerbread houses will be gluten-free, and the others can be just normal. But yeah, the gluten-free and dairy-free does make it a bit more tricky. Oh, totally. Much easier to have allergies now than back in the day. The only challenge with some of the allergies is more eating out. So if you do stuff and bake or cook at home, I find it so much easier. But it's the eating out that can be a bit more tricky. But I think with time it will come right, and it will slowly get easier and easier to, and more places will accommodate for gluten-free and other and dairy-free and other allergies. Hi Ronnie Blue, how are you? Yeah, I think a lot more people have allergies these days, maybe because we're more aware of it. I'm not sure if it also has to do with how processed food is, and people's bodies are starting to flare up because of it. I'm not an expert though. I hear you, Pickles. I'm glad you're doing well, Ronnie. That's great. You're having a good day. All right, I think I'm going to leave the tree. All right, so now let's do some red. Okay, so I'm going to use some Carmine Red, and I'm going to come onto these flowers here. And then I think I'll take gold into the center, so like gold glitter or something, and do the centers of the flowers with gold. Pickles. I don't know how well your body will function on just eating air. Oh, there you go, Brittany. There is a solution, and you can at least find a gingerbread house if you so wish. Just takes a bit of planning and a little bit more effort. Right, so I'm just trying to build up the layers on these beautiful little flowers, and then I'll come down and do the bigger ones a bit better. Oh, really? So not many of your family enjoy gingerbread houses? I think ours tend to last a couple of weeks, well, or so, but then they can eat it quite quickly because, you know, they're kids and they want sugar and biscuits and all these wonderful things. Okay, so a bit of white. Oh, my favorite is gingerbread, and then you have a nice cup of tea with it. But then, you know, any good biscuit with a cup of tea works pretty well. I don't know if I've had gingerbread pound cake. I like ginger beer, gingerbread, gingerbread cookies, gingerbread houses. I think it's a spicy element in it that I really like. There's these gorgeous gluten-free cookies over in Tesco's, and they have caramelized ginger inside there. Now that is really yum. Okay, I'm going to move you down so I can do the two red flowers. So we'll do these flowers here. There's actually 3. So I'm just basing them in a permanent red. Oh yes, ginger snaps are good. And then you can also get over winter period. I think it's a Netherlands or Dutch, or is it German? I know it's European, but you get those really thin, round cookie type things, and they've got like a caramel center, and then you stick it on top of your hot drink and it melts it, and then when you bite into it, it's just ooey goodness of caramel and all of that. I forgot what they're called, but they're really, really yum. But yeah, ginger beer is good. And even like with sushi, those thin strips of ginger just as a palate cleanser are really good as well. Oh no, see, I love spicy. Although younger years, I did struggle with hot food, but I love spicy. So one of our favorite foods is a Thai green curry. And there I put a good few chilies, well, about 2 or 3 chilies, depending on the size of the curry. This is just really, really yum. But I think the trick with spicy food is balancing your flavors so that it stays spicy, but it's not this overbearing, unpleasant experience. I'm going to do these 2 as leaves. Yeah, I like ginger beer, but I don't have it often. Because as you say, Brittany, it does have a lot of sugar. So it's just nice treat. So from time to time, it's nice to have. Oh yeah, the pickled slices of ginger with sushi is delicious. That was one of our favorite date nights, to go to a sushi bar and order sushi. It was one of our favorite date nights, and then life happened. Although I did buy a make sushi at home kit, and we did some California rolls at home the one day. So that was a nice at home for date night. It's just not the same as the one restaurant we had found back in South Africa before we moved. And there we could get a variety of sushi, and we would just stay for a couple of hours. My mother-in-law would watch the kids. They were really little at that time, and hubby and I would just have a night out and enjoy the sushi. Hi Leslie, how are you? Oh, no worries Leslie, thanks for popping in, even if it is for 10 minutes, really appreciate it. Knife called COVID. No, in our case it was, well, this was all before COVID. This was before we moved to the UK. We haven't actually found a good sushi place, but to be fair, we haven't actually looked, because we've got to look after the kids, and you know, it's just the two of us. But it's okay, you know, there's plenty of time later on in life. So no, COVID was, that was a different ball game. Oh, we didn't actually have that, Brittany. We didn't get any paste with, well, not in the little bit of sushi rolls we bought for the kids to try. I do like wasabi. It's a great palate cleanser, but I don't use too much of it because, you know, you really know about it when you have it. So, but I don't recall it being a paste. Although it probably is the same thing, really. I just draw the line at eating chilies straight. I'm not going to go and eat a chili straight out of the packet and into my mouth. Like, no, that's just not happening. And we did find out about chili eating competitions. I think they're in the US. I mean, I'm sure there's other countries that have them, but on this one show we were watching, and they were competing to see how many chilies a person could eat, and basically last person to eat the California Reaper. And it wasn't just one, it was like a whole lot of them would be the winner or the champion. Like, seriously, I do not, that is phenomenal. Like, how do people manage to eat that much chili? I think they have spectacular taste buds. Okay, so now I'm going to use my white pencil to create highlights and then go over it again with my Permanent Red. So I've been reading up about some of the history behind color. And last night I was reading up on the history of ultramarine, which turns out that ultramarine actually was initially taken out of the stone lapis lazuli, which would be transported across the Silk Road. And then there was this whole process to extract the blue powder out of the lapis lazuli, because lapis lazuli has blue and it has I think flecks of gold in it and some other stone. So there's this whole process that they would go to extract the blue, and they used water and a variety of other chemicals and compositions to extract the blue. And way back, I think in like 1500s, people who wanted artwork or who commissioned artwork would actually buy and request to know how much of this ultramarine blue they would need to buy, and then they would buy it. And they did that because it was super expensive, and to make sure that the artists were very careful with it. And then eventually, I think towards the Industrial Revolution, there was this French ultramarine that was made, and it was pretty decent, pretty close, and other similar but more affordable versions of ultramarine were being made, but they didn't have the same depth of color as the lapis lazuli blue, which became known as ultramarine. And in the time of the fresco paintings, a lot of that blue, deep lapis lazuli ultramarine blue, was used. So it's just really interesting because I didn't realize how much of the paints up until probably the Industrial Revolution was actually really expensive and difficult to come by. And yet it also puts into perspective why so many of the paintings and the artwork up until Impressionism was actually difficult to come by, hence why not a lot of artwork was very rich in color, at least. And if it was full of color, it was actually expensive. So I've got a whole book on, it's called The Secret of Colors, and it goes in and explains some of the history of some of these colors. So yeah, it's very interesting. Right, so now we're going to take some artichoke just in the center, and then later on when the page is done I will use glitter glue and I'll just make it all glittery. It'll look spectacular. A page like this needs a lot of glitter on it, I think. Brittany, I think they're just ending his story. I've watched a lot of Pokemon, and I think they're just ending his story. He's been, the whole Pokemon thing with Ash and Pikachu has been going on for a good few decades. So, oh wow, Kenny, that's really interesting. How did you get into studying minerals and the paints from them? Oh, well done, Pickles. Well, if you've promised her crumpets and Nutella, I'm sure she will definitely wake you up for that. Who wouldn't want to have Nutella and crumpets for breakfast? Oh no, Kenny! I'm sure if you were to read up on it again, it would quickly refresh your memory. Okay, so we're going to do all these tags like a creamy kind of color. Just want to pull away some of the green that's accidentally gone over them. Alright, so I'm using beige sienna and I'm going to use a bit of cream, and I will clean off my white pencil and we will just do that. Now I'm presuming these are gift tags because I don't actually see what else they are. Oh, Pickles, that's so sweet. Oh, fruit isn't her favorite and she wants 2 crumpets. Oh man. Well, at least you know now. Don't offer her fruit. It's not gonna fly. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you like it. Oh no, she picked out fruit and she's saying she doesn't want it. Oh, that is too cute. So did she pick up the fruit for you? Was the fruit her thoughtfulness towards you? She's taking care of you. Alright, let's come here to the pineapples and we're going to use some jasmine. Alright, should we give him lemonade? I'm just worried. If I make it yellow, it will not work very well. It might just clash. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, well done, Leslie. I'm glad it's turned out that you can stay. Now I do want to bring in some green into this pineapple, because if you make a pineapple too brown, it's going to look like it's going bad. So we want the brown almost to create a shadow, but we need a little bit of yellow and green. So I used a moss green there. I keep my fruit in the fridge, so when I think it's ripened, and if I know I'm not going to eat it quickly, I will stick it in the fridge so that the temperature just knocks it down a little and keeps it from over ripening too quickly. Whereas if I leave it out on my table, it will over ripen far too quickly. So that's what I've learned, and sort of seems to work. I do have to eat it, and I have to make an effort to eat it relatively quickly. But yeah, I do find it helps. Yeah, the fridge works really great at just slowing things down. It can't stop it, but it does work great at slowing it down. A bit of green here on this plant. Yeah, I only buy the stuff I know I can eat. And if I'm not sure if I'm going to get to it quick enough, I just don't buy as much, or I don't buy it at all. I've lost another pencil. Oh, well, oh no, there it is. I put it back. So I wanted, I think it's grey-green light. Oh look, I found another red flower. Okay, so I will do that one off camera because I don't want to take up your time with all these little details. So what I'll do is I'll do some of the presents on camera and I'll do others off camera because I think the methodology is going to be pretty much the same. Okay, there we go. So we've done pineapples. So a bit of grey just to deepen everything up. Now we have shells. Oh boy. So let's see, salmon pink, light peach first, and we'll see how we go with these. So light peach. And let's see, maybe if we use some mahogany. No, raspberry. Let's try some raspberry. It's a bit too much, isn't it? Now I find as I work through pencils, I'll go and I'll get newer ones to replace the ones that are dwindling, and then before I know it, some of the other ones that I didn't buy are dwindled, and then I need to buy more open stock. Just doesn't end, does it? I still need to work out what color combos work well with these sort of clam-like shells. It's just a learning process, isn't it? Try something, if it doesn't work, learn from it, find something else. So, but try Beige Sienna and just see. I want to try and just define this a little bit more, but I think I'll end up leaving it. Oh, absolutely, Colleen. It's a constant learn as you go. Right, back to the Christmas tree, because there's some shells there. So if we just use the same colors, at least that way the colors will sort of match. I mean, the reality is we don't learn if we keep getting it right. I mean, I don't think anyone can learn from doing something right. I think we do really learn more from when we get stuff wrong, or when we step out of our comfort zones and we try something. Hi Jana, how are you? Thanks for joining. It's great to have you. Okay, we were going to do his glove. Oh, well done, Leslie, for just persevering with your stones and drawing them and colouring them. I so hear you about biting off more than you can chew, but at least you're stepping out of your comfort zone and you're trying. So I decided Santa needed a red glove with a white cuff. It just seemed to make more sense. How much rain have you had, Jenna? Wow. That's incredible, Jenna. Wow. So it would be really nice for that rain to stop. Right, so let's do some pale blue presents here. Oh, I'm so sorry, Yana. Oh, thanks for clarifying. I totally understand the mispronunciations. My name gets mispronounced so much. It gets spelt wrong. So I really do get it. And I really do appreciate you correcting me on your pronunciation. Because it is nice when it is pronounced correctly. Oh wow, that's so cool. So what inspired you to move from Latvia to Albuquerque, if it's okay to ask it? Sorry, I just realized I was out of camera. There you go. I'm just using a Caribbean Sea. Oh wow, that's so cool. I'm glad that your sponsors were in Kentucky and could help. So I am using a powder blue right now. Leslie, you've been called Lisa. How do people get that right? Hi, Katrina. I've been called many things in my life. One of the ones I put down to as predictive text was Alien World. Somebody called me Alien World, which I thought was hilarious. And I have been called Ali, I've been called Haley, I've been called Aileen. I have had every possible spelling of my name under the sun, from Y's to double E's to all sorts. So it doesn't actually take me by surprise now anymore. I've learned to laugh it off. And yet the Scottish spelling of my name is totally different to the English spelling of my name. No, Pickles, no. This was somebody when I was working. It was a parent. So I worked at a school doing debt collecting. Not really my forte. Anyway, the parent sent an email and called me Alien World. And it was just so funny. I couldn't help but laugh. And then all I do is I just answer the email, and I just signed off with the correct spelling of my name. But I did put it down to predictive text or something, because this was a prestigious school. Parents were most likely sending emails off their mobile phones, so the odds of it being predictive text was likely. And eventually I met the person, and yeah, they were friendly enough, so no harm done. Now, if we can't laugh at stuff, then what's the point? So I just laugh and just go with it these days. So my name is pronounced Ailey. So the quickest way I can think of to explain it to people is to think of Haley, but without the H. And then you spell it A-I-L-I-E. So, Pickles, is your name Jody? Is that correct? I find social media so hard to sometimes know exactly what everybody's names are, because the handles aren't always a person's name. Oh, thank you, Carly. No, don't worry, Leslie, really. It always sorts itself out at some point. It is difficult. It's a difficult name. It's Gaelic. It actually means Helen. So in English, my name would be Helen, which is what my grandmother, when she moved to South Africa, she changed her name to Helen. I'm presuming just for ease. And then she did show me the actual Gaelic spelling, and it's totally different. But yeah, don't worry about it. Right, so I need a few blue presents down here, maybe along the base here. It's like in some of the Afrikaans names, certain letters are pronounced differently. So like a W is actually not pronounced wa, it's pronounced va. It's got a V sound. So if a boy has a name, an Afrikaans name like David, which is spelled D-A-W-I-D, Afrikaans people will pronounce it David, but English-speaking people who aren't aware of the Afrikaans nuances will say Dawood, because they would pronounce the W. So, I mean, language and names all can be quite tricky. Or like, I've heard people pronounce other Afrikaans names in an English way, and it's just difference. Jodie Ann, that's a lovely name. I like that. Well, thanks for sharing. See, this is where presents do my head in, because it's like, how many do you put? What of the same color? And then you've got the bow. What color is the bow supposed to be? I might actually just use gel pens for some of these bows. Yeah, we learn a lot from each other. So we have a Jodie Ann and a Leslie Ann. Such a beautiful name. And if I remember rightly, the meaning of Ann is God's grace. Because that's the other thing with names, is some names just have really, really lovely meanings. And I always think, like, with a name, whenever you're called by your name, there's that affirmation, the meaning of it is being spoken over you. But that's just a me thing. I like doing that, looking for deep meanings in stuff. Oh, okay, cool. So stick with a few colors and alternate between them and the bows. Okay. Thank you. That's a good tip. I don't want to bring in more red. I think it's got enough red. Oh, that's lovely, Leslie. That's a lovely meaning. It's amazing how you color and then you find more bits that you left out. Forgetting ears and eyebrows. I do forget ears from time to time though. I find I can't forget the eyebrows too much because they're quite obvious on the face for me. But it's in these little details I tend to forget things. Alright, so now I'm going to use a moss green. I wonder, maybe I should use purple and do like purple and blue presents. Because I feel like if I use orange, it's just going to disappear into the sand. And if the same with yellow. Let's try marine green. Oh, I'm not having much luck with leaves today. It's not working. Do you guys have that? Do you have it where some days it just works and other days it just doesn't? Yeah, some days it feels like you've lost the ability altogether. I totally can relate to that. Thank you, Carly. I appreciate you feeling that it looks good. I'm actually still finding myself in a coloring slump. But then I've been telling myself that I need to be gracious because we actually had quite a lot to deal with as a family in June. And so I think I've still had to work through some of that. So, you know, sometimes it's just about putting things into perspective and just going, it's okay. It is what it is. Just be kind to yourself, be gracious to yourself, and let it be whatever it is, and it will clear with time. Because I still only have 2 pages completed, and they weren't even started from scratch. They were whips from last month that I've managed to finish. And so I thought, like, if things don't improve by the weekend, I'll just go with it and probably do like a video, or maybe I won't do a video, I don't know. Coloring slumps are actually really hard to be in, because the heart is willing but the mood isn't. Yeah, I totally hear you on that we become harder on ourselves when it comes to our creativity when life is hard. You cover it up with glitter. Oh, thank you, Carly. Yeah, that video did get quite a lot of response and positive response, which really I did really appreciate. I'm not worried about those 14 books, honestly. I'm keeping them there to get to when I get to them. I almost prefer coloring in the books that I want to color in and enjoying them for however long I get to enjoy them. And then, yeah, just let things evolve, so to speak. Okay, so I'm going to use white pencil, lilac, and Parma Violet for my other presents, and we're going to color them imperfectly perfect. I don't want it to be like a very bright purple. I like the idea of it being a gentle purple. I think purple is what's needed on this page as well. So blue, blue, purple. At least, hopefully the minis won't get your books. Well, it seems to be that there's a few of us who are in a bit of a slump. Maybe it's mid-year burnout. I don't know. But I do know nothing lasts forever. And the most constant thing in the life is change. So on the bright side, the coloring slump will live for those of us who are stuck in a slump. And before we know it, at some point in time, we are going to be zooming away with this amazing coloring flair. And it's going to be like, oh my gosh, where have you been for the past few months? Oh, Leslie, it's just Monday. I'd be thrilled if it was Tuesday. My groceries come on a Tuesday. Right now I've got a bare cupboard and bare fridge. So I had to like really think about dinner, and I thought, oh, hang on, I don't know what to do for dinner. I messaged hubby on the way home from work and I said to him, what do you want? I don't know what to do. My cupboards are empty. And we ended up deciding we'll just make nice soup. Just throw some veggies in the pan. Voila. Exactly. Change is the most certain thing in life. Right, so here if we use a dark green, and a grey-green light, and we can just pull some of that through, and it makes a nice pretty leaf without much effort. Okay, we'll do this one purple and we'll give it white flowers. And we can do these flowers like yellowy white. Look pretty. It will look pretty. Oh, I agree. 5-year-olds are gorgeous. I think 5 and 6 was one of my favorite ages. 7 was okay. 9 isn't too bad. 9 it picks up. 10 and 11 I found the boys really became quite helpful. But yeah, from 5 to 7 they're just super cute. Okay, so I think I'm going to do the presents purple and blue, and then I will alternate the same colors on the wrappers. So if we do purple here, I'll do some, and then I'll finish the presents off camera, so that way I'm not taking up so much time doing the same boring thing. Just sit and watch me color presents all evening. So we'll move on to maybe like the boats. And then here, oh, she's so cute. And I love it when little children use really big vocabulary words, because you're like, oh my gosh, how do you know such big words? And then they just say it like it is in that really sweet context, and you just like, oh my gosh, it could just squeeze you. Oh, she sounds gorgeous. So a bit of dark blue into the edges here. Okay, so if I do it that way, and then I'll do white little flowers, and we could do the whitish tags. Taco Monday. Well, at least you had tacos. Now I've seen that you can get all sorts of tacos, and they can be hard shells, soft shells, and all sorts. Do you make your own tacos or do you buy? Right, I'm going to bring in some muted reds. So I want my raspberry. And we're going to come down to ships here. You know what, I've just realized this bit here is sky. The youngest ones generally I find are the cutest and also the most challenging in a good way. All right, let's bring in some Tuscan Red. Oh wow, that's cool. So you go to like a restaurant for your tacos. Because we only get the hard shell ones in the supermarket. And then the only filling I tend to do is mince with cheese, lettuce and tomato. And I try and make the mince a bit spicy. Oh, I know. They do have big emotions and feelings, don't they? Puffy tacos, wow. I didn't even know you got puffy tacos. That is so cool. Right, I need some henna. And then I'll lighten it with something. Not sure what. I'll make a plan. Probably like a grey. A 30% French grey. So dark brown and then a bit of artichoke in the middle, and then I'll go over that with cream and lighten it up. Bye, Mona. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. Enjoy your dinner. So I'm going to make like a greyish white boat. So I'm using a 70% warm grey. I'll come up with the 30% French grey, and then I'll try to blend it out with a bit of white. I suppose you could make a dark green boat with a red sail. Be very festive. Okay, so then we do a boat there. And we'll just do a red sail as well. If not, why not? And then we have the little flag at the top. I suppose we could do like a dark grey. This one I'll just do a black one. Oh yeah, we should probably do the clouds. Okay, and the sun. I think I'm going to have to do another video. I'm not going to have this page done. There's so many, there's still a few little bits and bobs. Okay, we'll just make it a bit of a brownish sail. Or beige, I don't know, something like that. Okay, so there's boats done. The birds we will do with gel pen. And yeah, so I will finish the presents off, and I will quickly show you how I'll do these. I'm going to do them like a yellow white. So this is Deco yellow. Let's bring you up so you can see what I'm doing. So we just quickly do these, and then I will love and leave you, do the presents, and when we come back next week we can wrap up the page and see what else we can work on I'm thinking of doing something with animals and birds. So it will either be a Canoca igusa or maybe a, oh gosh, I've gone blank. Bear with me, I've got to get my brain to work. Canoca igusa, maybe a Maggie Interiors. I think some of her books have animals, and we can have a play there and see how that works. I'll have a look through my books. Oh, that's lovely, Yana. I love her work. She really is good. And what I like with it is her animals aren't overly difficult to color. So I think I was thinking of Symphony of Cute Animals. Well, it could be lavender, but the thing is, I'm trying really hard to make sure I'm not following coloring with Elena's take on it, because she uses a lot of reds and greens and purples. So I'm deliberately trying to actually be different. And also what's throwing me is because it's on a beach. Technically, you wouldn't have a Christmas tree on a beach, and I don't think you would find lavender at the beach either. So the fact that this is a Christmas on a beach with all these other components is not working for my brain. So yeah, but I'm glad you like it. You thought it was wheat. I don't know, it could be either. Okay, let's use some artichoke. I'm going to try keep it light, so it's not quite wheat and it's not quite anything other than just confused. Oh yeah, they are incredible. Santa decided he needed a break. Yeah, he definitely did. Although I don't think Mrs. Claus packed him the right material, the right costume. I think he needed a bit more of a tropical costume for the beach. No, I'm open to butterflies at the beach, because I vaguely remember seeing some form of flying insect at the beach, but yeah, I don't remember which one. But you wouldn't find it this close to the water. So I reckon, you know, if we can have Santa on a tropical hot summer day, sweating in a winter coat on the beach, with butterflies fluttering about, and possibly lavender or wheat growing, and all these presents, and a Christmas tree that's going to be washed away within the next 3 hours, I think we're okay. Yes, Mrs. Claus decided if he was going to a hot place without her, he could sweat it. Yeah. Oh yes, that's true. Oh really? Did you have butterflies at the beach? That's cool. So what I might do, I might just take a paint pen and paint pen around here and just see if I can turn this into a little bit more of a painting, but I don't think it's too bad. Right, so I'm going to zoom you out so you can see, and I need to give some thought to these starfish because I don't know if I want to use the same color as the starfish here on the starfish, but I could. And then, yeah, we're almost done. So I will do more presents off camera and then we can wrap it up next week. Right, let's zoom you out. Oh, sorry. Okay, there you go. So sort of what it looks like, not too bad. At least it's staying balanced, so that's the main thing. And as you can see, the pencils we have been using. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a really good rest of your week. It's been lovely to chat and hang out with you, and I look forward to seeing you all on Monday next week. We'll wrap it up and possibly get started on an animals or bird theme page, but I'll let you know. Thanks, everyone. Have a good week, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.